So a little bit about the Sheriff's Office. If you don't know, it's the largest Sheriff's Office in the state. I have roughly 800 employees, 533 sworn, 265 civilians. We run the largest jail in the state of Colorado. Our average daily population is pushing 1,700 inmates every single day. 1,700 inmates. The next closest is Jefferson County at 1,100. About 60% of the people in that facility suffer from mental illness. 60% suffer from mental illness. 1,000 people in that jail that we have to deal with that have mental illness issues, and they're incarcerated for one reason or another. And if we don't treat them right in the facility and we don't keep them connected, when we put them back out on the street, we just deal with them over and over again. And that's why that's part of my initiative this year. So I have 5 initiatives that I laid out for staff back in early December. And I laid out, number 1 is the illegal marijuana grows. Last year we were successful in passing a bill that locked the maximum number of grows in a residential property to 12. 12 plants. Right now we have 650 grows in El Paso County, and we believe a majority of them are in the 200 to 300 range. We have to interdict that. We have to eradicate those marijuana grows. They're tearing up our communities. It's just, I could go on and on. I don't even want to start on marijuana. That was number 1. Number 2 is the homeless issue. And everybody's reading about the homeless issues all up and down. Anywhere that there's a waterway, we've got homeless issues. We've been attacking that in the last couple of weeks, and we've moved a lot of these camps on. And the third thing that we're dealing with in operations is mental health. Mental health not only on the street, but mental health in the jail. And mental health on the street, we now have a co-responder model grant where we're going to have a mental health worker respond with one of our deputy sheriffs on a routine basis to help us treat mental health issues rather than incarcerating them. Because the next priority for me was lowering our average daily population. And that's because we're nearing the maximum capacity for that jail. And if we don't lower the average daily population, the next answer is we've got to build a bigger jail. And that's $100+ million proposition. We've tried to do the math to say, how can we do this and not cost the taxpayers a ton of money? And it just isn't possible. So we've got to go back and try and lower that average daily population. We've got to treat mental health. We've got to lower the number of people that we put in the jail to treat for mental health. We've got to find ways to get people who just can't pay bond to get them out, but keep our community safe. And we think that we can lower it to the 1,300 range, or maybe even lower. If we can pull that off, the pressure that's relieved off of staff, the pressure that relieves off of the taxpayers is going to be immeasurable. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on changing some of the security measures inside the jail facility. We're going to update our camera systems. We're going to update our electric door control systems so that it's a safe environment for those 355 deputies that work inside the jail. Because the one thing that's for sure, out of the 533 sworn people we have, if somebody responds to a call on patrol and there's no cover, they can wait. We can get cover from another agency, we can wait. If there's a problem in the jail, there's no waiting. They have to respond, and they have to respond in force, or we're going to lose somebody. And it's a dangerous environment to work in. And so we've shifted some resources back to the jail because of the burdening size of the inmate population, but we finally think we've got a plan figured out. Every one of my commanders came back a couple of weeks ago with an operational plan and an operational guide to put into effect the changes that we need to make in 2018 to make these priorities accomplished priorities at the end of the year. We are going to do it. We are going to reduce the number of marijuana grows. We are going to have an effect on mental health. We are going to have an effect on the inmate population in the jail. We are going to have an effect on mental health and how we respond on mental health. This is important, and we have got a plan. But in order for me to get this done, I've got to do one more term. I've got to do one more term. We can't finish it in a year. And like Andy said, we can't allow this to get interrupted by somebody who just slept at a Holiday Inn once. I know it's kind of funny, but it really, to be honest with you, he's from New Jersey, and these New Jersey politics are getting a little bit old. We need help, and that's why we're here, and I'm really excited to be here. I think Janet wants to say a few things, and then I'll come back and answer some questions. You want it now, or you want me to answer questions now? Wants me to answer questions. Okay. Anybody got questions? Anybody want to throw anything at me?
What can they do to help you tonight? Maybe write a check?
Maybe write a check. That's what Janet's going to do the ask. That's the, and like Andy said. What's that? What'd you say, Joy? Oh, just stole her thunder, she said.
I apologize.
That's right. Well, it's not like we all don't know each other. I mean, we've seen each other forever and ever. What else? What other questions? All right. Here you go, Jim.
Question.
Oh, Ron.
So what are the next 4 years going to look like?
The next 4 years are going to be an intensive push on the same 5 priorities that I've laid out. That is going to be an intensive push. That's the first thing. The second thing is I have talked just relentlessly on building my bench. I want the staff of my agency to be prepared to take the wheel. I want to know that if somebody gets hit by a bus, that I've got somebody ready to step up. I want somebody in there ready to sit in my chair. And I've worked really hard. We're sending commanders to the National Academy. Rodney Garrett's going to the next one, and today I notified the FBI that Joe is going to the one in 2019. I'm sending lieutenants and sergeants to leadership and police organizations, and we've got one of our lieutenants identified to start doing instructing so that we can increase the number of people that we can get into leadership classes. We're working on instituting ethical-based leadership training. What a topic. We're hiring people for character. We have figured out that we can hire people and train them to do what we do, but we can't teach somebody character. If they don't have character, why do we want them? So now we're at a point where we hire for character and we train for competence. And it's not an easy thing to do. We just made a posting for deputy vacancies and we had 800 applicants. By the time we get ready to hire, we'll have 50. If I could get Chris to quit stealing cops from me, I wouldn't have to do it near as often. He knows who trains him the best. Sorry. So, good question. Leadership training, leadership development, building my bench, making this community safe. That's what I want, because my grandkids have got to grow up here.